Have you ever heard the story of a woman who changed the course of a war with nothing more than courage, determination, and a tent peg? This is the dramatic story of Jael and Sisera, told in the book of Judges, chapter 4. A long time ago, the people of Israel were in deep trouble. They had turned away from God, and because of this, they were handed over to a powerful king named Jabin. Jabin ruled from the city of Hazor, and his greatest weapon was his military commander, Sisera. Sisera was no ordinary commander. He led a vast army, complete with 900 iron chariots. At that time, iron chariots were the ultimate weapon of war. They were fast, heavy, and unstoppable. For 20 long years, Sisera used his power to cruelly oppress the people of Israel. The Israelites were helpless. Tired, broken, and desperate, they cried out to God for deliverance. And God heard them. This is where Deborah enters the story. Deborah was unlike anyone else in her time. She was both a prophetess, someone who heard messages from God, and a judge, the leader of Israel. One day, Deborah received a clear word from God. The time had come to defeat Sisera. She called for a warrior named Barak and gave him the message: gather 10,000 men from the tribes of Naphtali and Zebulun. March to Mount Tabor, and God will deliver Sisera into your hands. But Barak hesitated. He said, "I'll only go if you come with me." Deborah agreed, but she gave him a prophecy: because you insist on this, the honor will not be yours. Instead, Sisera will fall into the hands of a woman. The armies gathered. Barak led his 10,000 men, and Deborah went with him. When Sisera heard of their movement, he brought his entire army and all 900 iron chariots to the battlefield near the Kishon River. The battle began, and in that moment, God intervened. A storm rolled in. Heavy rains poured down. The battlefield turned to mud. Sisera's iron chariots, his greatest weapon, were trapped, stuck, and useless. Barak's men charged. Sisera's army collapsed in panic. Not a single soldier survived. But Sisera himself escaped. He abandoned his chariot and ran on foot. Exhausted, desperate, Sisera ran until he came to the tent of Jael, the wife of Heber the Kenite. Her family was at peace with King Jabin. So Sisera believed he was safe. Jael came out to meet him. She said warmly, "Come in, my lord. Do not be afraid." Sisera entered. She covered him with a blanket. Thirsty, he asked for water. Instead, Jael gave him milk. The warm drink calmed him. Soon, his eyes grew heavy. Before drifting off, Sisera gave her instructions: stand at the doorway. If anyone asks whether someone is here, tell them no. Confident he was safe, the great commander of 900 chariots fell fast asleep. Then came the moment no one could have expected. Jael quietly picked up a tent peg and a hammer. She moved carefully toward the sleeping man. She placed the peg against his temple, and with one bold strike, drove it straight through his head into the ground. The mighty Sisera was dead. Moments later, Barak arrived, still chasing after him. Jael stepped outside and said, "Come, and I will show you the man you are looking for." Barak entered the tent, and there lay Sisera, defeated not by a soldier on the battlefield, but by the courage of an unexpected woman. This shocking act changed everything. With Sisera gone, Israel pressed harder against King Jabin until they completely destroyed him. Later, Deborah sang a song of victory, praising God for deliverance. And in that song, she honored Jael with these unforgettable words: "Most blessed of women is Jael, the wife of Heber the Kenite." She crushed the head of Sisera. Jael became remembered as a hero, a woman whose courage and decisive action turned the tide of history. So what can we learn from this story? First, God works through unexpected people. Deborah, a woman leader, guided Israel with wisdom. Jael, another woman, struck the final blow. Second, strength doesn't always look like armies and weapons. Sisera had chariots and soldiers. Yet his downfall came from an ordinary tent peg, wielded by someone he underestimated. And third, courage means acting in the moment. Jael didn't plan for this. She wasn't a soldier. But when the chance came, she stepped forward with boldness. The story of Jael and Sisera reminds us that true victory does not always come from the strongest or the most powerful. Sometimes it comes from the courage of the overlooked, the underestimated, the one who dares to act when the moment arrives. And that is why, thousands of years later, we still tell the story of Jael, the woman who defeated a commander, and changed the destiny of a nation.